Our last equation here, it looks really weird, but you can kind of see the bump, 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 bump equals 0. This is quadratic like. So look at your B term. What is the thing sitting next to that number? It is x to the negative 1. So we're going to let u equal x to the negative 1. So then what is u squared going to be? If we square both sides, we get x to the, well, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So where we see an x to the negative 2, we sub in a u squared. Where we see an x to the negative 1, we can sub in a u. Looking at this original equation, that will give us u squared minus 3u minus 10 is equal to 0. Now, this is a much easier thing to look at, and we can factor this. What multiplies to negative 10 and adds to negative 3? Well, that'll be negative 5 plus 2. So we get u minus 5 times u plus 2 is equal to 0. So solving these, we will get that u is equal to 5 and u is equal to negative 2. But remember, it's not all about you. Did I mention that's my favorite joke? It's not all about you. This question was about x. And what was our x? U is equal to x to the negative 1. So that is what we must plug back in for our two u equations. Now, this one's a little bit tricky in that we need to remember what does x to the negative 1, what undoes x to the negative 1. Well, there's a couple ways you can do this, but the way I'm going to think about it is we're going to raise both sides to the reciprocal power. What's the reciprocal of negative 1? Well, if we flip negative 1 over, isn't it just negative 1? So let's raise both sides to the negative 1 power. Okay, this is a little bit tricky because negative 1 to the negative 1, that's 1. And we get just x. But then how do I deal with 5 to the negative 1? Well, what do we do with negative exponents? If we want to turn them into positive exponents, we have to send them either from the numerator to the denominator or the denominator to the numerator. So this is going to be x equals 1 over 5 to the positive 1, or x equals 1/5. That was a little tricky. We had to go back and remember our exponent rules. Let's try it over here. If we have negative 2 to the negative 1, how do I make that negative 1 exponent positive? Well, I need to send the 2 to the denominator to make that exponent a positive. And then what is 2 to the first power? Well, that is just 2. So we get two answers here. X is equal to 1/5 and x is equal to